Oh yay, oh yay. Welcome all of our listeners to our Friday stream. I'm Brian. This is Breaking Education, BreakSec Education, and so I'm here. It's a lovely Friday. I'm staving off a bit of a headache after massage from somebody who has like Iron Man type hands. Her name's Ophelia, and she could probably crush, you cement blocks in her hands. It's just amazing. Hey, Fix It. Hey, Walt. Hey, wow. Hey, Beta Wolf. Glad everybody could be here. Cool. Wow. Okay. What the hell did I just walk into? I don't know. If it's a wall, you probably should open your eyes. Yes. Did you see that? Did you see that? You just put it right on the tee, and I should knock it out the park. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry if you ran into a wall there, Beta Wolf. Just make sure once in a while when you're watching the stream, you look up and make sure you don't have a. The massage person I go to before my chiropractor appointment. Her name's Ophelia, and she can just crush cement blocks in her hands. So, yeah. So, just as an aside, there you go. Yes, it's no context theater here on this lovely Friday on the BreakSec Education. Well, I don't like to shame anybody, but if you like, large-handed women with crushing cement blocks, I don't know where we're going with that. So on Sunday night, not Friday night, Sunday night in 2 days, we're going to be interviewing Kevin Johnson from Secure Ideas, member at large for the Global OWASP organization and keynote of B-Side San Diego this year. As a good friend of ours on the show, been on several times in the past decade plus. And so the only proviso is we're going to start an hour later than normal. So for those of you who come to our Sunday streams, it's going to start on Sunday night at 7:30 p.m. Pacific. That's 19:30 not GMT, but military time. Instead of our normal 6:30. I'm not sure if Miss Berlin and Mr. Betcher are going to be able to make it. That's like 10:30 Eastern time, so apologies for that. Kevin had a family thing that he wanted to go to, and I'm not going to tell him no. So, we're gonna make do with what we have. So, an hour later. Just keep your eyes out. I'll announce that as well on all the socials. We're going to maybe see if we can get a peek into what his keynote's going to look like. I'm going to talk to him about what it takes to be a member at large for an organization like OWASP, especially a global organization like OWASP. I believe he just came back from one of the OWASP like global meetings in New York City. So it might be interesting to talk with him about that. And of course, Kevin's been doing, AppSec for over a decade. First time I met him was in 2014. And I think he was our first or second interview ever on the podcast. Mr. Betcher and I were in a vehicle taking him to another local Austin meeting between like SANS classes and stuff. So we met him at our 542 class, which went really well. So no, Beta Wolf, no. I know. In the back of my mind, there's a little guy with red pajamas going, "Yes, make that joke, yes." And I'm like, no. Looking forward to catching up with Kevin after these last few years and seeing how he's doing. So, plus I'll get to see him in a week in San Diego as well. So I am officially gooning at B-Side San Diego and potentially be gooning at DEF CON as well. So I'll be in Vegas anyway for a work-related event. So if any of you are there around Black Hat time, looks like I'll be there for at least a couple days for that, and then I'll probably be at DEF CON thereafter. So it'll be interesting. Yeah, definitely some FBI agents, trench coats will be flashing all over the place, that kind of thing. So, yeah. Oh, good. Okay. One of the problems I have with my work computer is it does a lot of the patching automated really well, except the Windows monthly update thing. And I have to manually do it myself. DEF CON is going on. It's in a new venue, right? So it's in the Las Vegas Convention Center, which is probably going to be better for folks. I got to tell you, a lot of the arguments and discussion that I heard was like DEF CON's too spread out. Like it was in the not Julius, I'm thinking Julius Caesar, but it was like in Caesars, and it was across the road in 500-degree temperatures to something else that wasn't connected to something. Hey, well, hi, just Devon. Welcome. Devon is a streamer as well on Twitch. Give him a shout out. Go check out Devon. And yeah, so I think having it at the Las Vegas Convention Center is going to be better for everybody because it's under one roof. It doesn't require people to walk across, 150-degree temperatures in August, and doesn't require a lot of folks to, everything's contained, right? So, but I was talking to a friend of mine, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna need security, gonna need goons. And I was like, hey, I'll throw my hat in. So I'll be running goons. I'll run Goon Squad hopefully this year. So, yeah, I'm Beta Wolf. It's up to you. It's I have to be there for a work event during Black Hat. So I'm just gonna probably switch hotels from wherever the venue is gonna be, and then be at the Sahara or something. So it's not like there's a shortage of hotel rooms either. So, very cool. So. Found a couple of interesting links, news links specifically, but we will do some Rust programming. I did find some cool tutorials and stuff on Reddit. Apparently, the r/Rust Reddit is quite active and quite vital to the internets. Well, let me double check and make sure my patches took. Yep, there we go. Yep, there we go. All right, so, that's my screens. So, saw a news article about NIST's Vuln database. So, apparently NVD, which everybody's been using forever, since 2005, and actually the CVE numbers go before that. I think the earliest one is like 19. Hey, Lady P, what's going on? Hi. By the way, if y'all hadn't heard, and you need to, Lady P is going to be out, not on vacation, not on holiday, but she's going to be out for a next couple, in a few days for a couple weeks as she recovers and convalesces. So I just want to again publicly thank Lady P as she takes her much needed time off that she's going to need to fit herself into her new sleeve for and transfer her consciousness into a brand new body. So yeah, she's going to be yeah, she's resleeving and transferring her consciousness into a new body. And she's yeah, so we hope her speedy recovery and that she'll be back very soon. So anyway, so for those of you who are unaware, and many of us in the information security community are aware of what CVEs are, which is the numbers by which all the vulnerabilities are shared by people. So you've got the good ones like CVE 2010. What was that? 2017, yeah, 2010, something like that. Whichever one was Eternal Blue. Let me see. Oh yeah, there we go. So yeah, you had some very well-known ones like Eternal Blue, and then you have other ones like that, SMB1, that kind of thing. So these are all created by and cataloged by the National Vulnerability Database, NVD, which is then, the numbers are created by MITRE and Angelic Demon. Yeah. But so I read this story and they said, NVD will temporarily they'll see delays in their analysis efforts as NIST implements improved tools and methods. No further explanation coming. The freeze isn't completely across the board. A small percentage of CVEs being documented, but no means at the same velocity in prior years. It puts, in a bind. They mention the fact that there's 365 partners involved in the CVE model who collect threats, collate them. There's 6,000 new CVEs have been posted this year alone, and half of the details in the new ones, there aren't any. There's no details. It's almost like Java Oracle pushes things out, and there's very little information. And they go in talking about how Nessus Vulnerability Scanner uses the data from that to give information on how to patch or how to fix these issues or remediate these issues. And I started wondering, this is one of those things that has been around forever. I think some of the earliest CVE numbers were like 1999 something, and I want to say it was one of the well-known ones that you always saw in Nessus was something to do with FTP or something like that. But Monday morning should be getting the good stuff. Did you remind your anesthesiologist there, Lady P, about the the anesthesia? So you tweeted that. That's not something you shared with me privately. So, but it's interesting. What would a post-CVE world look like if there wasn't a national vulnerability database? Or, what would have happened had we not have had the database in the first place? How would we have cataloged these issues? I would assume that there would have been something. If it wasn't the National Vulnerability Database, it would have been a bunch of organizations or maybe a for-profit come together and do that. But it's just interesting. What will a post-CVE world look like if we decided this wasn't a good way of figuring out? Yeah, people only pay attention to CVEs on Friday evenings. Yeah, that is a very true statement, Lady P. So they said NIST may be the agency responsible for NVD, but the lion's share of actual work comes from MITRE, which is the organization that makes the attack matrix, the defend matrix. And so they're like, how do you figure that out, right? And how do you collate, what'd they say, 360 odd organizations that are 365 partners who collect these threats? So, who would do that? And MITRE could potentially do it, but it's going to take a lot of ramping up, right? PA and Cisco would fight to license the database to you. Yes, or Oracle would have, the Oracle vulnerability database, which is, on an Oracle database, which would be in fact vulnerable because it's Oracle. It's some inception level shit there. You know what I mean? They'd have to issue a CVE for the Oracle vulnerability database CVE list. So anyway, it's like hacking the scoreboard at a CTF or something. But so another group I didn't know about called VulnCheck. They have an NVD collection of their own. I don't know how fully fleshed out that is. They also have, other vendors also will issue their own security vulnerability alerts, like, Google and Sync and GitHub and SonarSource and Microsoft and everybody's trying to do their own. What's that? Okay, all right. We're still on the angels and demons bits over here on the chats. Okay. So yeah, it's just interesting what a post NVD database would look like, or maybe there needs to be a new database that everybody can follow along and look at, or what was that? OSVDB, I think. OSVDB, open source vulnerability database. That's another one. I'm not sure. It just seems like, there's one group that everybody kind of follows, but there's other options that maybe could step up and do that as well. Yeah, there's quite a few. So yeah, that was an interesting story I had read about, them having issues. I don't know if NIST is trying to streamline the process in NVD to make it easier to publish these things, but there's scant data, at least from dark reading, on what's happening here. There's no further information or explanation, and it's only happening to certain groups or CVEs. So really weird. So let me see, what was the other thing? And I'm trying not to, there's numerous stories out there talking about, breaches and things, but the other one that I found interesting was, anybody remember Elasticsearch from about 4 years ago, I think? Elasticsearch had changed their licensing on how when they originally put out Elasticsearch, they put it out with a more permissible license, open source license. And then it became kind of a linchpin to application services all over the globe. And then Elasticsearch is like, we want to get paid. And everybody's like, whoa, hold on. And Elasticsearch said, yeah, we're going to get paid. And then they dual licensed their stuff, with one license for the community and another one for people who are using it and their products and cloud service providers and what have you. And several companies kind of got up in arms about that. And it's happened again. And where is it? I think it was News of the Day. Let me see. I posted that up in here. So, yes. A little company named Redis, which Redis is I want to say it's a key value pair group. Redis. It's a, in-memory data store used by millions of developers as a cache, a vector database, document database, streaming engine, message broker, etc. They have adopted a dual license. And the idea is, if you're starting with Redis version 7.4, you will have 2 licenses. Now, obviously, the 3-clause BSD license is the most, I would say, the only one that's more preferred is public domain, and then the 2-clause BSD license, and then the 3-clause BSD license. Yes, Lady P. People still use Elasticsearch. I believe some companies actually took the last good version of Elasticsearch before they added their crappy new licenses, or in the company's opinions is crappy new license, and forked off their own version. So they're using, Elasticsearch 6.4 plus, and just like this, anything before 7.4 for Redis is still under the 3-clause BSD license, but after that, now you have to deal with the source available license or the server-side public license. That can cause you some problems. Like Lady P, if you use a lot of Redis in your organization, you probably need to talk to your lawyers, bring your legal folks in, and make sure that these license agreements are still compatible with how you're using the software. And be prepared to have to license your kit now. So you may end up having to what they have to appreciate is that now that I'm paying for it, I can sue them. Yes, Lady P, if you have been not paying for your Redis because you've been using it under the 3-clause BSD license, and now you're going to be paying them millions, depending on the licensing agreement. I don't know what that is. I actually didn't see. Let me see. Pricing. Well, they have some pricing here. I'm assuming that the licensing for something commercial is still going to continue to use these. But it is interesting. You're about to incur additional cost if you're using this. So it says they have definitions. Actually, this is not it could be a longer license. So hopefully this makes it easy enough for folks to understand and be able to have their legal departments take a look at some of these things. But yeah, so you'll have to figure out which one's applicable to you, and it may be that you want to go to wherever Redis 7.3 is being stored, because I would hope that people are My paid Elasticsearch is compromised and I'm going after them for losses. Can't do that with open source. Yeah, that's true. That's true. So Redis is taking a chance here as well. But considering folks like Lady P have, probably use it quite a bit, and some companies that I know probably use it quite a bit. I posted it up in our own internal stuff because we use everything, right? And so I'm trying to figure out what that means for us. Where was I posted? Oh yeah, here you go. Under the new license, cloud service providers hosting Redis offerings will no longer be permitted to use the source code of Redis free of charge. For example, cloud service providers will be able to deliver 7.4 only after agreeing to licensing terms with Redis, the maintainers of Redis code. These agreements will underpin support for existing integrated solutions and provide full access to forthcoming Redis innovations. So, yeah, you'll have to pay for something, right? In practice, nothing changes for the developer community, who will continue to enjoy permissive licensing under the dual license. At the same time, all client libraries under responsibility of Redis will remain open source licensed. Redis will continue to support its vast partner ecosystem, including MSPs and system integrators, with exclusive access to all future releases, updates, and features developed and delivered by Redis through its partner program. Yeah, Lady P, I mean, yeah, I think it really just depends on what you're doing with it and how you're handling it. And let me post this link up. You can send it to your toadies there, Lady P, maybe your legal folks to catch that. And it says, despite efforts to support a community-led governance model and our desire to maintain the BSD license, delivering multiple software distributions simultaneously is at odds with our ability to drive Redis successfully into the future. Translation, we want to get paid. And so, yeah, I'm sure that they are getting paid, but for whatever reason, they're finding the BSD license incompatible, which is interesting. That means that BSD license is a failure for them and it doesn't work. Yeah. So, and I mean, there's obviously plenty of opportunities to, so interesting blog post that they probably forgot to remove off of the site, but they linked directly to it. So that's yeah. So 6 years after this person said, yeah, we'll remain BSD, they changed, right? If I'm exactly, Lady P. I mean, it sounds like, what if that is interesting, Lady P. What if the new licenses are incompatible with all of the previous developer work? I'm going to open my door a little bit. There we go. One of the joys of having 70-degree weather in Southern California is sometimes you like to open your windows. But yeah, that's the one thing I've always had an issue with like when we heard about Elasticsearch and now when we hear about Redis. There's open source developers that don't work for Redis who've donated hundreds, thousands of amounts of time, of hours improving and feature updating on the backs of corporate America. And they're not going to see a thin red dime of any of this. So I could DMCA them to remove your code. It could possibly, I mean, if you, this would be very similar for you, Lady P, that if somebody was to train an AI model with your source code, which is, your graphics or something like that, could you use a DMCA to remove the training from your product that you created out? And I guess that's, do open source developers who contribute to a project own their code? By open source standards, philosophically, I would say no. And the developers don't really have a leg to stand on? And again, that's a legal thing, Lady P. I don't know. That's my opinion, but if that's the logic that I'm following here. If you've donated code to an open source project, you've donated it, right? I mean, unless you can show that you've done some nonprofit or charity work, I guess that's how you would claim it on your taxes. If you didn't assign your copyright to the company, then it might be an issue, as a changing would require your permission. Exactly, in most OSS models, there's no transferable license. Interesting. Well, maybe we'll see more fallout from this. This happened a couple days ago. 20th. So it happened on the 20th. And it was a different person who wrote the blog. Some dude in a hat or some dude in a nice, collared shirt with a sweater vest and whatever. So, yeah, good times. Meanwhile, I would say go grab Redis 7.3, fork the hell out of that, because it probably already has on GitHub. And make sure, if you want to start up your own, I'm sure there's a new fork of it that's BSD licensed that's going to stick around as something else, like, Predis or something like that. Redis GitHub. There we go. Yeah, so there's only 23,000 forks of Redis, so I think we're okay. I think we're going to be okay. Somebody out there has a fork of it. I'll fork it. Fork you. Oh, wait. I had to say that. I have no idea if I did that right or not, so, that's okay. Now I've got a copy of Redis no, I'm too late. Oh, I'm the suck. Oh, too late. Damn it. Oh, well, I can just delete that later, so that sucks. Well, somebody's got a copy of 7.3 out there that you'll be able to grab a hold of, so because that code will still be available in perpetuity, which is one of the other joys about open source. You can always find unsupported code or old code out there. And so, what was the last thing? Yeah, this is the thing that I found. Learn Rust with entirely too many linked lists. This is the story about the NVD. Let me poke that on there. So got a lot of good feedback, by the way, for the Stuart Mitchell recruiter stream. That was surprising, and I've gotten, I don't know if this is good or not, but I've had at least 50 new recruiters following me on LinkedIn. So far, none of them have asked me for if I want to go work in Minot, North Dakota for 3 months as an IT help desk person. So it's good. Lady P, we always keep a local mirror snapshot of everything we use. Make sure that snapshot doesn't get updated with the new crap. I'm just, you know that, of course, but if you're keeping local snapshots of things, sometimes maybe you want to set a breakpoint and say, okay, we're going to keep this major version or this major version. I'm not saying this will always happen where they're relicensing things, but, it's a rainy day, But let me see. Stuart Mitchell breaksec. Yeah, so this went over really well. People enjoyed this stream. It was a good number of people enjoyed it, and I actually learned quite a bit, because there was a lot of things that I kind of took for granted, like recruiters get paid or whatever. They don't have any real pushback because obviously they have to deal with the stuff, and I guess I shouldn't have lumped everybody in. Other legitimate recruiting organizations do have the ability and do exercise their power of, hey, you want us to do the best for you, but you're not giving us your best job description, or you're not giving us you're setting us up for failure, basically. So you need to work on that. So we version everything. PCI DSS requires that. Okay, very cool. So yeah, go check out that link if you haven't had a chance yet. I found it eye-opening, and Stuart is always available to discuss opportunities there if you want to. It's one of those things. I've always wanted to have a recruiter on to talk about these things. The next thing I'm looking for is somebody who works at worked at a Gartner or a Forrester or something like that to talk about. And I don't know how if they can talk in depth, but it would be nice if we could kind of talk about why Gartner and Forresters are the way they are. Is it really pay for play? And that may be the question that can never get answered because of NDAs or what have you. But it would just be nice to understand the job of a industry analyst and how much part of it is probably marketing, some of it's PR, some of it's crafting the correct conditions to put the people who've paid you in the most advantageous position in your measurement system. Like if you're looking to be, a leader in something, you have to phrase it in such a way so that it is technically true. What I'm hoping for from that is, that kind of discussion is to be able to go in and speak to that and, understand that, because I would say us rank and file folks, all we get is from CISOs or senior leadership, hey, go find somebody in the upper right quadrant. And, as we talked with other folks earlier this year, sometimes you pick the other quadrants for different reasons, but I've never actually seen that. So just be interesting to see. Anyway, let me see one last thing. Found this today on Feedly, as a matter of fact. There's a new decompiler out called rev.ng. When you go to their site, the first thing I thought of was, oh, look, somebody's made a plugin for VS Code. And because the UI for it looks very VS Code-like. There's no sound, I don't think, but so you can upload a binary, and the UI looks very much like that. Matter of fact, this looks like free. It is VS Code, so but it'll compile the source, and then you can decompile it and get everything you need. But yeah, you can see there they've decompiled the binary. They're looking at the addresses. Now they're going to check out the decompiled code. And if it works in VS Code, that's kind of cool, but I don't think it works like that. So, let me. So it's they say it's in closed beta, so I'm hoping it's something that's actually going to be free. I don't know. You can see them decompiling and reviewing the code there for other things. While loops, returns, structs. We also do private demos. Yeah, they say open sourcing, but okay, we'll just stop that for now. We're back end of our decompiler, initial documentation. Yeah, newsletter subscribers to the closed beta RevNG UI, RevNG Hub, entry point for the cloud version of this. Okay, so I would say if you're going to use this, just remember if there's a cloud service and you're going to be uploading your binaries, make sure they're not work binaries. Make sure it's not malware. Make sure that you're thinking smart about this. If this is a cloud-based system, you don't necessarily want to upload something that's going to cause you issues at work or elsewhere. So here's where you can get the downloads for that. Consider reviewing the script before running it. Yes, that's always a good thing, even if this is on a site that is somewhat legit. Open a link. I didn't want to do that, but okay. It's okay. I downloaded it. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, I know. I'm trying to open it in VS Code. You're a rat bastard. All right. Open with Visual Studio Code. There we go. So yeah, you can look at it. It's got a set. Oh wait, my bad. Gotta go back. Gotta go back. There we go. So it's there we go. You got, it's just a bash script, so it checks for tar, unxz, curl, tail, cut, grep, sed. It's checking to make sure all those binaries exist already, which, yeah, most all of them, maybe except curl, would already be on the system as, basic Linux binaries. TR, sed, grep, those are all good for manipulating text, cut, oh, there's a user pass function in there. It's kind of ugly. Yeah, so, it looks okay. Maybe you could run it. So, yeah. So, please report problems here, discuss.rev.rng. So, yeah, you can go and take a look at that if you want to. And there, they've got an example decompiling program. You can walk through it. It's actually quite a lengthy website talking about these things. So, but I was a little confused as, they mentioned cloud service. So, I don't know if they're actually using, it does look like that you're uploading that to their site and then able to pull down the decompiled version, which it's kind of creepy. So, oh, feature comparison. There we go. Oh, there we go. So open source is free. Available, private project, standalone. Okay, so standalone versions are TBD. Looks like it handles most everything, including ELFs and PEs, Mach-O, PDBs and IDBs, C, disassembly. Cool, okay. So yeah, just go check that out and remember that there's going to be it's a product. They're not paying us for it. Maybe it's an opportunity for them to come on and talk about it. But yeah, I found it in the reverse engineering Reddit here. So all right. So in Rust, in Reddit, the Rust Reddit, somebody had said, here I need a tutorial that actually teaches Rust. Which is funny because I've tried several that are there. I actually found some Advent of Code stuff from last night. I realize now that the Advent of Code things don't hamstring you to a specific type of code. Such an accurate Reddit post. Yeah. Need to learn Rust, so I looked for some tutorials. So far, they're all intended for people who know a little Python or something, and the entire tutorial is basic stuff. I get the basic stuff. What I don't get is stuff that makes Rust, ownership, borrowing, etc. Tutorials just glance over that stuff with the basics. So they mentioned the too many lists one. Yeah, pet graph. They actually mentioned a couple of books, I think. Programming Rust, 2nd edition by Jim Blandy. As like, advanced Rust stuff. What I would like is, something so simple that even I can do it. But so I found this, and this is the Rust unofficial GitHub.io. That you can follow along through, and they say, you got any issues or check out the final code. Everything's on GitHub, which is great. This uses the Rust C 1.31 from December 2018. I believe all of the tutorials that I've learned thus far is from 2018. I don't know if they have an edition 2022 or something like that. My guess is the 2018 is similar to LTS. Lady P, my chair doesn't have a back. I'm gonna fall off, and then you're gonna feel bad. I think. I hope. And so it's not so easy. A caveman can do it. Even the caveman probably is smarter than me in this case. But yeah. There's. Okay. But yeah, so I actually don't even understand what linked lists are. So that's oh. So if I go, ass over elbows and my legs fly up in the air, then that makes for a good stream. Problem is, it won't go viral because there's only 6+ lurkers right now. So, but yeah, I understand a lot of OSs depend on things like linked lists or what have you, and I was trying to. Oh, here we go. Here's another book. Rust in Action: Systems Programming Concepts and Techniques. You don't have to buy it from here, but thank you for clipping it. Oh, that would be great, Lady P. Thank you for clipping that. That would be fantastic. I need to actually figure out how the clips work because I don't think I have things that are clip worthy. And maybe that was a clip right there. I don't know. But yeah, so let's see. This is a lot to. Oh, thank you, Walt. In the computer. See, I don't have a computer science degree. I have my degree in information technology. Linked list is a linear collection of data elements whose order is not given by their physical placement in memory. Instead, each element points to the next. It is a data structure consisting of a collection of nodes which together represent a sequence. In its most basic form, each node contains data and a reference, in other words, a link to the next node in the sequence. It sounds like a web page, bruh. Because you got 12 points to 99. I have a degree in podcasting. That's right, from the National Podcast Institute of Technology. So good old NPIT. Yeah, that's where my. Well, thank you, lady. NPIT. Go. Yeah. If I'd have figured out a better backronym for it, I would have. But the Society for Podcasting and Technology. So SPIT. SPIT. There you go. So you have a link in the pits. There you go. In the pits. Right. Podcast Institute of Technology, Seattle. There you go. Pits. So it's a sequence of nodes that contains two fields, data and integer values here as example, and link to the next node. So it says 12 and then go to 99. 99 goes to 37. 37 goes to ad infinitum, I guess, at some point. So these are among the simplest and most common data structures. They can be used to implement several other abstract data types, including stacks, lists. Oh, okay, so lists, okay. Associative arrays, S expressions. Oh, so it looks like the trees. The what do they call those? Yeah, okay. It sounds simple, similar to what we did when we were trying to create. I forget what that was, but there was a specific Rust data structure where you could set like arrays that were flexible, right? You could keep setting values, and it would expand and contract depending on the number of values in it. That was when we were doing the Rust OS. Rust as an OS. Yeah, this one, when we were doing some of these things. Binary tree, yes, binary tree. Yeah. The black red trees, I think, is maybe I'm unthinking it or thinking too much about it. So, yeah. It's interesting how deep the rabbit hole goes on some of this shite. So, yeah. So let me see. History. Yeah. Nomenclatures. Following C code demonstrates how to add a new node to the value. So you have add node detail. Yeah. So you're almost like popping and pushing in Python. Dynamic arrays. Yes, yes, yes. Dynamic arrays. Yeah. Yeah, I guess that would make sense though, Lady P. You've got a set amount of data, and then as new data comes in, maybe some of the older, cruftier data is pushed out for the newer data, or as the data set is refined, some stuff kind of, the circle, starts pushing, bulging out, and I'm thinking, in my head as an image of like a bunch of data, and then, as new data comes in, something gets pushed out, right? Okay. Some languages have resizable arrays. Yeah. Yeah, I want to say I saw that in Rust. I think we were working on that in Rust. So it's kind of cool. It's just, and then you have circular linked lists where it just goes in a circle, right? 37 points to 12. That's interesting. There must be a reason for these like this. In this case, it's not the number 12. It's a point in memory that points to something else, right? So yeah. And I'd imagine this would be similar to like a loop, like not a while loop. While this condition still exists in this fashion, do this until something happens, and then it breaks the loop or breaks the chain. Yeah. So let me grab this for everybody. Drink. There we go. Just so everybody has it. Wikipedia is your friend. Sentinel nodes. Empty lists. Hash linking. List handles. Combined alternatives. Balanced trees. Hashed array tree. Oh my goodness. Okay, yeah, that's like that's like building blocks of things. For any OS, not just that. So for those folks who are watching, why are you doing Rust, Brian? You could do Python or Go or whatever. The whole idea was, behind it was, you found out that Microsoft's getting rid of a bunch of, shit code in their kernel and replacing it with Rust. Like 35 odd thousand lines of code so far has been changed. Circular lists are for buffers. You usually have a pointer to the head node so that you don't get stuck in an infinite loop. Yeah, and Beta Wolf, yes, okay, you can blame me. Yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah, so, I tend to not follow these kinds of Reddits because they tend to be all holy war-like. You get some folks that are like, Rust is God and, everything else blows, and it's like, yeah, okay, just try to not be like that. But it almost feels like if you're going to work with a specific programming language, you've got to commit to it, right? And it's only there. It takes a lot for somebody to go, I don't want to drive a Ford anymore. I'm going to go to a Tesla, or I'm going to do something else. So, but yeah, cargo dist 0.12 is out. Oh my God. They've announced it, so it must be a huge deal. Cargo dist. This release introduces an experimental new feature, an updater, which allows your users to install new releases without having to go download a new installer themselves. Ooh, so Rust can be updated normally? Wow, so they now have the ability to auto-update. Do not marry a language. Why not? I'm pretty, set on English right now there, Lady P. I get your point. So it's interesting. So it says it provides a way for your users to easily upgrade your software without needing to check your website for a new version. That doesn't sound good. Why would they want to do that? At this point, learning certain languages can set you up to learn others with minimal issues. That's true. That's true. Well, I mean, like the guy in the Rust, the Rust chat, he's like, I've been doing C for years. I need to learn, learn that. So, Yeah, mastering Rust with basic data structures and algorithms. So anyway, I went to, I think, Advent of Code, and they have all the way back to 20. Yeah, this is it. So year 2023, you can actually go back to 2015. Oh, huh. It didn't do that on my laptop. That's kind of cool. Some jiggery pokery going along there. But what I thought was when you go do these, it's like, oh, it's expecting you to do this in a specific programming language, and it's not. So learning any or all of these will allow you to learn any language past that, and you can go a step further by learning things like Lisp, Erlang, Haskell. That's true. So I was last night during while I'm watching Naked and Afraid, I was looking at this, and it's like, oh, I can get started, and it says what floor do you oh, right. 1 second, I didn't log in here, so let me do that real quick. Oh, Google's got a brand new bag. All right, so get your puzzle input. So Santa's hoping for a white Christmas. His weather machine is powered by stars. He's fresh out to save Christmas. He needs to collect 50 stars by the 25th of December. There's an apartment building, and they want to know what floor you start on. So you get your puzzle input, and this is what it looks like. It's a bunch of open and closed parentheses, and I'm at a loss as to how to start even on some of these things. If programmers understood how machines operate, they wouldn't need security people. Whoa. I guess you're not entirely wrong. I think if programmers, I think our function would change. I don't think maybe we would be, pounding on AppSec folks so much. I think, well, Beta Wolf, I think what Lady P is saying is, they'll continue to not do that by the same turn of the card or whatever. We sometimes don't understand exactly how programmers work either. So no, Lady P, you're always right. Why do I feel like I'm talking to my wife right now? It's really weird. It's weird. So anyway, I have to figure out based on open and closed parentheses, and ideally I'm supposed to create some sort of programming thing that will process this input and tell me what floor it is without me having to go, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6, 7, 8, 9, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Yes, Lady P, she is right a lot of the time. Yeah, she's right a lot. So yeah, the idea with this is I have to create a script that will read potentially this either in a stream or something and kind of tell me, +1, -1, +1, -1, +++++, minus, and give me the floor that Santa in this case is going to be follow on. Yes, she is the doctor in the house. She's awesome, and it just yeah. I mean, sometimes I think the only thing she got wrong was marrying me, but it is what it is. So she could have done so much better sometimes, I think. So so I'm looking through these, just trying to figure out how to get started on these, and there's enough of these exercises that once I figure out how to no, Beta Wolf, that's exactly. Wait, Lady P, I didn't read the backup. Oh man, I've actually suggested that she do content like this because, she's trying to create, content, her degrees in adult education and what have you. We just gotta, keep nudging her in that direction for generating content or, project management. She's got 30 years of project management experience. She could write books on this stuff. So, in her sleep, no less. So, but yeah. So, I don't need that link, and I already have this link, and I don't need that. I don't need that. So, going through my your girl won't let you start a podcast because you'll never be late again. Wow, Beta Wolf. Wow. Not quite lisp. Oh, maybe this is a clue. Not quite lisp. Santa's hoping for a white Christmas. For example. So yeah, if you close your parentheses properly, you're going to end up on floor 0, or you have 2 that are open and closed, open and closed. Yeah, the problem is the toxic ones are apparently the most popular because they either get people who hate listen or hate watch, or they pander to shit demographics that will religiously follow them. Unfortunately for me, I am not toxic because obviously I'm not viral or I'm not a Joe Rogan, which I'm glad of that. So yeah. So let me get my Visual Studio up here. And I'm assuming there's more than one way to do this on most things, but let me move that over here. Move that here. So Rust. Rust stuff. There we go. Rust stuff. New folder. We're going to call it Advent of Code. So I tried to simplify my Visual Studio, my VS Code stuff, because I was trying to do too much. I was trying to, sync it with GitHub and, 1,500 plugins and stuff. And I was like, yeah, I'm just going to uninstall everything and start over. So, well, thanks, Lady P. Am I like number 12 or something on your top 10 list? So I'm at the bottom or something like that. It's like, what was it like? Yeah, something like this. Yeah, you got your Deathless 5, and I'm like number 7 on the list down there, something like that. Anywho, okay, so we're gonna start a new project, and I need to Control-Shift backtick. Rust stuff. There we go. CD Advent of Code. And then, what is it? Start new Rust project. Yeah. Okay, so cargo new foo. Yeah, okay. Cargo, yeah, that's it. Cargo new Advent of Code. Okay, so we've got our stuff in there. If you have to look up commands, don't worry, everybody does it. So, if you're in interviews and they're like, what's the switch for this tar command or something, you don't want to work there. That guy's an asshole, or that interviewer's an asshole. Could be a woman, could be non-binary, I don't know. But I hated interviews where somebody was like, well, what switch do you need for curl to do something? I was like, 12. And then it was like, yeah, everyone looks up code. Yeah. All right, so I've got my cargo new Advent of Code, and then source, and then there's that. Do I need to go cd advent of code again? Yes, okay. So I've, see, that's, yeah, whatever. So I've got my func main, hello world, and let's go back to my advent of code. All right, so we know that this parenthesis, there we go, so everybody can see it. We know that this version of the open parenthesis means we need to go up a floor, and the other one means we need to go down a floor. And because, whoa, okay, that made my eyes go crazy. I'd like to answer those and then flip it and as them for an esoteric switch. I looked how to hash tables in PowerShell. I've been programming in PowerShell for years. Wait, PowerShell programming? How does that work? I guess it's like Bash programming, right? Yeah, so very similar. Or Batch. Batch was another one. Since I actually don't know how to create something originally myself, and I'm being given a project, being the floor here, that I need to figure out where Sandy Claus is going to end up, and I don't want to just, manually go in and figure out, 1, -1, 1, -1, 1, -1. And I don't, just want to randomly put in like, 20, because that ain't not the right answer. General tips on the About page. Eric Wastel makes advent of code. General tips: you get stuck, try your solution against the examples given in the puzzle. You should get the same answers. If not, reread the description. Did you misunderstand something? Is your program doing something you don't expect? After the examples work, if your answer still isn't correct, build some test cases which you can verify the answer by hand to see if those still work with your program. Make sure you have the entire puzzle input. If you're still stuck, ask a friend or ask in the subreddit. Okay. Sorry, just looking at something. By the way, B-Side San Diego is next weekend. It's on Saturday, the day before Easter. Weird. But it's at the SDSU campus. So let me close that. Well, okay, so we're going to assume it's going to use 2021 Rust Edition instead of the 2018 version. Yeah, so, all right, cool. So, there's an easy way to select entire code blocks. Does authentication work? Global leaderboard. Puzzles unlock at midnight. I find text hard to read. Is there a high contrast mode? Is there a bug in the puzzle? Can I stream my solution? Oh, it says while people are competing. Okay, I assume in 2015 that I don't have to worry about 2015's advent of code. It's a good thing I did read that just in case I started in 2024 or 2023's version. So can I use AI to get on the global leaderboard? Please don't use AI to solve the day's puzzles. Okay, can I copy or redistribute? Please don't. Okay, so there you go. It's free to use, not free to copy. That's good. Okay. All right, so I'm going, return to day one. There we go. Well, the good thing is there's a subreddit in case I get stuck or lost or something, but there's no guarantee somebody's written it in Rust. So, but ideally, doing these advent of code, I should be able to learn Rust as I'm going along. We'll see what happens. Oh, wow. Okay, we're at an hour already. So if I want to write something, it feels like I need to write down how I want the logic of the program to go, right? And the idea would be to take the input. No, not a 5-hour stream there, Beta Wolf. No. Yeah. What I'd like to do, because ideally what I'm going to do is I'm going to, break down break down, you know, the what needs to be done, right? Into tasks. So in this case, I have this, which is a list of characters that have to be read by the program. The program has to denote a value to each one of these values. So, this one in this case is a plus. The one that is, this is a plus, this is a minus, or sorry. This is a plus, this is a minus. And, if this is one and this is one, and then it would read in through a stream, I would imagine, and tally these up based on, how many there are. Am I overthinking it? Because it almost feels like that. The other thing is, if I know that, like, for instance, I'm gonna just zoom up real quick here. So if these two here cancel each other out, it feels like I just need to tally up. Oh, all right, fix it. Sorry. Hope you have a good day. Go take a nap. It's like Saturday morning for you. Yeah, have a good night. Fix it. And everyone check out Fix It stream, by the way. Fix It is streaming as well, so Fix It 42. So get a shout out to Fix It. There we go. Oh, okay. So the other thing I'm thinking of is if these cancel one another out, and this is 0, right? If each one of these is 1 and -1, so they cancel each other out, I could just read all of these in and tally up how many of this and this are. Each one is going to cancel each other out. Oh, well, there you go. Fix it. Yeah. 5 hours. Wow. Jesus. I don't know how to do 5 hours. I actually thought about doing something for the solar eclipse that's coming up. Of course, I live in San Diego, so it's not a total eclipse, but I was like, maybe I could do an eclipse party. Don't know. So it feels like the simpler way would be to tally up all the left and rights, have them cancel each other out. So if there's 500 of these and 600 of these, then I know that it's, there's 100 more of these, so it would be negative floor 100 or something like that. So, I mean, that's another way of doing it, I guess. But yeah, it would require me to tally up all of these. How do I do that? How do we run a tally? Or so this is why I never learned to program something, because right now I'm like, I could just go Google up, hey, how do I do this in Rust? And then it's going to show me exactly the code I need to be able to do this. So I want to, how do you have a list of values, tally, yeah, I don't want to do it in Word, Rust. So the char type represents a single character, more specifically since hey, Digital Warhead. You're watching me try to actually create a script from scratch without being in a tutorial. So looks like a nice Jupyter notebook here. So you can run code. Interesting. Yeah, we're trying to hack. The problem is I actually don't know how to start this thing. I mean, I've got my my nice funk main here and everything, and I'm going to be able to print hello world. Great. I have an advent from 2015, which is probably well solved in the subreddit. My issue is I need to be able to read the file into, or read this list of characters in through the program to tally how many. Thank you, Digital Warhead. Oh my God. And then spit out how many are there, like a tally or a count of how many this and this are, and then I can figure out what floor they're on, right? Compare and contrast or something like that. So let me see. Methods, text implementation. Tuples, unit, usize, array. I could read into the array, right? I could add those values into the array, and it would be a really big array. It would start out with this being the 0th value, and this being whatever nth value that would be. I could read this into the array, and then yeah, something like that. Oh God. So standard array, and we'll see. Read characters Rust into array. Okay, so yes, so morning is a constant function try as array string. I see. I don't know the number or the size, right? Collect the characters into a vector. So let letters, or let characters in this case. Yeah. Creates.io, Unicode segmentation. All right, well. There was a clue that the building could have an unknown number of floors, maybe more than you have memory. Well, I have 80 gigs of RAM, so hopefully I'm not going to run into that. But so Walt, my thought was that every time I have a left and a right, they're going to cancel each other out and be 0, right? So ideally, what I need to do is I need to process the input one character at a time, or read all of these into like an array. So this would, like I said, the 0th one being the 190th one or something like that. Oh. I would just like to, get started with, let's read this into an array. But, I'm not a programmer, so that's where I'm running into problems. It's like I don't even know how to start. So oh, you don't want to read them in that way. So would I want to do like a stream thing where it's like I'm processing them first processing them as they come in instead of storing them in memory? So it'd be like, it would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, It feels like that would be the way to go with that. I would keep a tabulator. Rust tabulator. Or just a tabulate creating. No, that's not going to work either. Creating a table from scratch. Tabular data. Build your Rust editor. Build your text. We're going to build a text editor with the Rust. The very earliest computer process. Okay. Okay. Right. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I need to either store this file somewhere or read the input from someplace. Does it? Hold on. Does it? Okay, it's static, so it doesn't change. So if I copy pasted this in, keeping a count on the stack. Oh my god. Declare 2 int vars, one named left, one named right. Yeah, that makes sense. All right. All right. So let's go back to Rust docs. Just so everybody's got it, we'll grab the link here. I'm good with either one, Lady P. Yeah, variables. So okay, so we're gonna say let x equals 5, or let so in this case it's going to be let, and I don't think we can do this, or I don't think we can do that, equal, because that doesn't make any sense. That won't work. So I'm going to have to figure out how to set an interesting and maybe that's why they set it that way. So it'd be let something equal 1 semicolon, and then let something else equal -1. Because according to the description, the open parenthesis, he goes up a floor, closing parenthesis means down a floor. So single accumulator is far more memory efficient, CPU efficient. Okay. So we're going to let, how would I set that as a variable? How would I? Have a special character. All right, so we'll let x equal 1 and y equal -1. And then should we have like, it feels like we should, let z be the current, be whatever the current value is, right? So you could do it with one variable. Okay. I think I'd read in a byte, increment or decrement the counter, then read in byte +1 and repeat. Yeah, that would be ideal, right? Yeah. We're gonna read in a byte, decrement a counter. All right. Nope. So read the string. Pull bytes from this source into a provided buffer. A number of other methods are implemented in terms of read, giving implementers a number of ways to read bytes while only needing to implement a single method. Okay. Right, right. Oh. One second. Okay. Got about another 15 minutes here of just floundering around trying to figure out even how to, do something before that happens. So it feels like I'm going to save this as a text file. Copy, and then we can potentially read it in later. Let's see, put this in. That's good enough as any. Someone is making ice cream, can't hear anything. Foo.text. I'll just call it that. That'll be fine. All right, so then we paste. Did it? Uh-oh. Did it? Wait, what the hell happened here? Oh, I see. Okay, that's fine. It did that. It's just the line is extremely long here. So yeah, there we go. Okay. View word wrap. There we go. Oh, interesting. Okay. File save. All right, so we've got a foo.text. So we're going to pull in foo.text. As other people say, we don't need multiple variables. We'll see. That comes back to bite me to try to figure that one out. Let me see. Sounds like I'm going to need to pull in a couple of dependencies. So I'll just grab these two here for shits and giggles. Copy. And put them above. Yeah, Lady P, write it however it makes sense to me. I'm just trying to figure out. I'm having a complete mental block on where to go with this. This is another reason why I couldn't do things like being a red teamer or anything like that. Can you turn it down over there? I'm having a hard time hearing Brian. So we've got standard IO, standard file, so that should allow us to read in foo.text that we have. File save, just for shits and giggles, that way I don't lose anything. Foo.text has all of our bits in it. And I can probably get rid of the println here. Yeah, ideally, it feels like I should break it down by saying, okay, what is the first thing I want to do? I want to be able to read the file in, right? So read in a file. So it would be something like this. Let mute f equal file open foo.text. And then that. There we go. So that should allow me to read it. No, damn it. Foo.text. Maybe you're trying to hold on to too many things in your head at once. Speaking of accumulators, yes, mine is definitely garbage in, probably real shit out. So, yeah. So, yeah, Walt, to your point, I'm going to open that file, foo.text, and then I need to process the file, right? It says read up. Oh, so they kind of give me examples here. It's like read the whole file. So F to end, read up to 10 bytes, or let mute buffer equal vec new. So I could put the whole thing in a buffer and then figure out how to read the, yeah. All right, so we'll let mute buffer vec new missing a few things here, I think. Func main original, yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. There we go. Okay. 1 second. All right. So, all right. Go back to my browser window. There we go. Just looking to see who I might be able to raid in about 5 minutes here if this doesn't continue to go south here. All right. So we're going to read in the file. We're going to read the whole file in. So we've done that here. Wait. There's the vec. Okay. Read up to, oh, so I've added the wrong line here, so. Read up to 10 bytes. Close that and do that. All right. So fread mute buffer. So we're gonna file read. So fread is file read the buffer. Damn. And then ideally, I'd like to, so once I've read the file into memory, which would be foo.text, opening foo.text, it's going to read in the first 10 bytes of the buffer. And then I would ideally, it'd be nice if I could print that onto the screen just to see that I've actually done it right. So, oh, prelude is, no, I don't need prelude. So let mute string This will be read as bytes. So I don't think it's going to work at all, but we'll see. That mute f equal this string will be read. And then as bytes. Yeah, that's not going to work. It's not going to work at all. Works exactly as a file does. All right, fuck it. I've got some more learning to do, but I don't exactly know how to go about doing that. So I think I'm going to go and decompress and read a little more of the docs to see about examples here. I'm going to make an effort to not go to the subreddit and look up the answers on this because, you know, it's so easy to do so. But ideally, I'm going to spare everybody the silence and the hemming and hawing around where some people are probably trying to throw things at their screen, and go back and read through some of the documentation here on how to do these things and see what I can do to make that better. If I do figure it out before the next stream that we do for Rust, then I will. There's a lot going on this week, so this is one of those weeks where it was like interesting, you know, and you know, yeah. I mean, I'm probably not doing it how most developers do it. They go to Stack Overflow and get the answer, which is probably how I should do it, but that's always felt like cheating to me. So, found these folks online, and oh, I can't raid them, so that would be why. You can always give bigger hints when you want them. That's I appreciate that, Lady P. Complexity's playing Halo. I can't raid the Cyber Warrior Studios who are on right now, which is interesting. They don't allow raids. Weird. Okay. If there's anybody else who's on right now that might be interesting, we can do that. We could also go check out Devon. Yeah, let's go do Devon because. But yeah, it's been an interesting week. I do have some ranty things I want to talk about that, but the things at work haven't come to fruition yet. So, yeah, hope everyone has a good weekend. Take care of yourselves. We'll be on Sunday night at 7:30 p.m. Pacific for Kevin Johnson. Otherwise, go enjoy and hang out with my friend Mr. Devon. Devon. Pronouns are they, them. And have a good rest of your day.